Hello, Facebook. Okay, so we have logged back on. Hopefully we don't get booted off again. We are at the park, so I'm assuming that's why the connection is not that great. So again, my name is Minister Kenina Adams, and this is my husband,
Minister Greg Adams.
And we are very thankful that Elder Fred and Lakeisha Schaefer invited us to join in on their Facebook Live tonight. And they are doing great things in the community, and we're just very happy and very honored to be working with them. So tonight's topic is the importance of dating your spouse. So we've been married
going on 15 years in June.
Yes,
next week. Next week, yeah.
Yeah, so next
week.
It
is June.
Yeah, it
this
is
year's
June.
Going by pretty fast.
Next year will be 15 years for us, so we're very grateful to that, and we're very thankful for that. But some of the things that we do to kind of like keep our marriage fresh, it doesn't necessarily have to cost money, but we do spend money. We go out to eat, we go to the movies, we just spend quality time with each other, and sometimes it's not even big. My mom lives down the street, so sometimes we'll just send the kids down. And yeah, I mean, what's some other things that we do?
I just like to have a good time, just be silly. I mean, we don't even necessarily have to go anywhere. I just like to just spend quality time, whether it's just communicating or just talking, or I'm a homebody. I like to just stay at home with the kids, and even if the kids aren't home, my wife and I'm just content and satisfied with just staying at home, laying in the bed, watching movies, just talking, just being in the presence of my wife, who is my best friend. And that's very important. You want to make sure that your spouse is your best friend and your companion, because at the end of the day, as you get older, you want to just be able to talk and just have conversation and just enjoy one another's company, just being in the presence of that person.
Yeah, so like just to kind of add on to what my husband has said, just being friends. I feel like if couples aren't friends, they're going to have a very, very difficult journey, because I can be myself in front of my husband. He's the first one to tell me about myself.
Yep.
He's the first one to put me in check, and I appreciate that. So having a strong friendship actually makes a better dating relationship. And I just think it's essential, because sometimes you get caught up with like work, and I'm in grad school, the kids, you can kind of get caught up in all those things and just completely forget about one another. And I think a lot of marriages fail because we just kind of, people fail to spend time with each other, and those things are important.
Yeah, they just get too busy with life. And before we even had this live video, I was at the gym, and I had some time to reflect and exactly what I was going to say and why marriage is important, or how to keep the dating process going on in your marriage. And one thing that really came to me was, I'm at the gym working out, and as much as I want to look good, not only for myself but for my wife, I was thinking, all the time and effort that I'm putting into myself, the scripture in Ephesians that talks about, we ought to love our wives as much as we love ourselves. I was thinking, like, I'm putting in this much time and effort for me to look good, not only for myself but for my wife. So how much more effort do I need to put into our relationship? And it's throughout the whole process, you're sore, you're tired, you're exhausted. You put forth all the energy when you're lifting weights or whatever, means of working out you do. But then it's uncomfortable. But that's the same thing in your marriage. It starts off uncomfortable. You're getting to know each other. Sometimes even the conversations that you have are going to be uncomfortable, because some conversations are going to be uncomfortable. They're always not going to be nice and just lovey-dovey. You're going to have those real conversations at times, and it's going to hurt, whether it's your feelings or your spouse's feelings. And it's the same thing when you're working out. Like, you have to put in the time and the effort. Same thing with your marriage. If you don't invest in your marriage, whether it's time, the quality time that you want to spend with one another, and I'm not talking about a family vacation where all the kids are going to, Florida or Disney or wherever you go on vacation with the family. I'm talking about quality time with just you and your spouse. That's where the relationship building really begins, because you really have that intimate moments with your spouse.
No, and I agree, because those are the times to me when the things that you've been wanting to say come out, and the stuff you've kind of been holding in all week long. Like, we had an interesting conversation even on the way to the park, but that's part of that quality time. We're not going to share that, but we had a really good conversation. And if we didn't have that alone time, like to us, that's dating. Being out here at the park with just me and him, this is a date for us. To be on Facebook Live this is our date night. We're spending time and we're talking about, you know, our marriage or whatnot. But this is how we invest in one another. And I feel like what my husband was saying, I'm not quite into the working out like he is. I mean, I work out.
I might make her go do some hills when we leave here.
No. So anyways, yeah, I'll do those hills for a minute, but my husband is a little more dedicated than I am. But just like he said, you have to put time in, you have to put energy in, and marriage is work, and it's not a bad thing. And
how you doing, Miss Schaefer? How you doing?
Hey, Keisha. So we had a hard time like logging on, but we're on here.
Yeah.
So yeah. We're here.
Yeah.
So anyways, just back to what I was saying. My husband was using the analogy of working out and how he puts his time in, he puts in the effort to make sure that his body is looking good, and he was using that as an example in terms of like when we're dating me and us going out and having a good time together. It's like it's going to take time, it's going to take energy, it's going to take effort, and it's not a bad thing. And I think too that we live in such a society where marriage is painted in such a negative light that people just always look at it as a chore. And I always say this, and I mean I say it sarcastically, but I mean it wholeheartedly. Like, I like my husband, so like we have fun together. It's not a chore for me to like hang out with him. Like, I actually enjoy it, and I actually get an attitude when we don't have enough time together.
And my daughter said, you two are the only ones that will call each other after work and just sit on the phone and be like, what you doing? Not talking about anything. I'm like, well, that's what friends do. Like, I sit and listen to your conversations, and you ain't talking about much about anything either. So that's what friends do. We just I'll call her like, hey, what are you doing? I'm at work. I knew she was at work, but what are you doing? I'm on my way home. She knew I was on my way home. Like, what else are we talking about? Nothing. But
it's kind of like when you first started dating.
Yeah, on the phone till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that was back when they had
roaming charges. My cell phone bill was like $800.
So now we have unlimited minutes, so we use them like every single month. He'll be like in a grocery store, and I don't know if this is a date because it kind of gets annoying sometimes. He'll like walk through every single aisle, and he's like, so they got like 15 types of cookies. Do you want chocolate? Do you want peanut butter? And that's just still like spending time with each other. Like, this is the person that I vowed to spend the rest of my life with. So like, I enjoy being in his presence, and I always tell my kids like, yeah, he was my husband before he was your dad. So we don't even allow the kids to come between our relationship. We're always on one accord, and even when we do disagree, we make sure that we handle it quickly so that the kids can know that we are in sync with whatever decision is that we're making. And that comes through, back to the whole dating, that comes through spending time with each other, and also just enjoying one another's presence. Like, even when my husband gets me to do stuff that I'm really not that interested in, but I'm developing like a love even now for like sports. I'm not a big sports fan, but I'll watch football with him. I like basketball.
She'll watch the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, I like the NBA. I like Steph Curry and all those other
LeBron.
So
go Cleveland.
Go. What's team is Steph on?
See, she doesn't even know. Golden State.
Oh, go Golden State then. So we like enjoy doing like things like that together. I don't know. I can't think of anything else.
She'll get me to walk her hills or go to the park and do her workouts, which, I don't consider a workout just because I do the high intensity workouts. But to her, if that's important to her, and that's another thing, it takes sacrifice. That's one thing that I learned is it's not a what can you give me or give. It's a lot of sacrifice, and it's reciprocated on both ends. That's one thing that I know is if I invest in her, she's going to invest in me, and vice versa. That's one thing that also keeps a relationship healthy. It's not about being selfish. You have to give. It's a give and take relationship, and
it builds the bond. Like, a lot of times, like we can kind of tell when we need a break or when we just like need to just go out to eat or something. And I don't know, it could just be that we've had like a lot of stress that week with the kids, with work. And it'll just kind of be like impromptu. We're like, let's just go out to eat.
You said that last week. You're like, what was last time we went on a date? We need a date day. And we went on it was Saturday at like 1 o'clock. We went to Cracker Barrel. That's my spot, Cracker Barrel. We just went to Cracker Barrel and just enjoyed one another.
Yep.
I mean, just could be random moments just like that.
And like I said, it builds the relationship. It builds the trust. Like, I don't know. Like, I tell people, I've said this, I think, earlier in the video. Like, I like my husband, so I'm not like, oh, God, what do he want? Oh, God, he's calling. And even when he does get on my nerves, like, it's kind of hard to stay, like,
she can't be mad at me long.
Well, I do get mad at you.
Yeah, but she can't be mad long.
Anyways. So, yeah, but we just enjoy each other's presence. And, you know, we're not trying to, like, paint this pretentious or fake picture of our marriage, because we definitely have problems just like anybody else. But the dating process should not stop. Whatever it took, like, for you guys to get one another, you have to continue that. You're still human beings. And Christians, let me just say this to the Christians.
Christians in these streets.
Yeah, we got these shirts on. Check out our shirts.
Christians in these streets.
So to the Christians, we want you guys to know, like, just because you're saved and you love the Lord, like...
Yeah, Nene does get mad.
No. Who is that, Christina? I do. I do.
It should be an exclamation point, not a question mark.
Whatever.
Because Nene does get mad.
Yes, Nene is still from the south side of Jackson. But anyhow, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying, because you just threw me off with the Nene gets mad.
What were you saying?
I don't know. Oh, for Christians. Okay. Just, you know, you love the Lord, you're saved, you're on your way to heaven, and you're so glad, and so are we. We appreciate the Lord, and we're thankful, and we are unapologetically Christians. But you still have to make sure that you balance even like ministry and home and all of that. That stuff matters. Like, I mean, because I can't be like so dedicated. You know, everyone knows that I have the organization Women of Worth, and I'm very committed to it, very dedicated to it. I've even recruited my husband, have him doing things. But at the same time, I have to still make sure that I'm not allowing like outside forces to interfere with our relationship. And so that's another time where I need to kind of take a pause and say, okay, I need to spend time with my man, because I've been dedicated to all this other stuff.
And I'll let her know sometimes.
Do.
If she gets a little bit too occupied and consumed with WoW or other things going on, and I don't, you know, aggressively say, hey, you need to spend time with me. You know, I respectfully say, hey, you know, I know that you're getting a little busy, but, you know, let's go do this. Or sometimes I will say, hey, you know, you do have a husband. So, you know.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, so, Chantel. What's up, Nikki? I see Nikki join.
Yeah,
Miss Hawkins, how are you?
Yeah, so that's pretty much what we do. We know that everyone's household is different, so we're not like, you know, telling you that you have to do what we do, but it works for us. And that's another thing. You have to find
figure out what works for you.
Exactly, what works for your family. Because at the end of the day, when your job has ended, when you've done your community service, when you've done whatever it is that you do outside of your home, it's your spouse. This is the man that I go home to. This is the person that I sleep with every night. And so I want to make sure that this is tight. I can't be out here, you know, evangelizing the world and my home is falling apart. So dating is very important to us, and we don't take it lightly. Even the people at our church, people in our family, they know that when we're spending time together, we're serious about that. And we will tell everyone, like, we'll throw the deuces up in a minute, like, I'm sorry, y'all, we can't. It's our date night. So
yeah, because it's important, and it should be important to you and your spouse. You know, your relationship should be important, just because, you know, even the Bible says it. You know, we are joined together. But not only that, you know, we should also, our relationship, our marriage represents Christ in the way he loves the church. So there's no greater example that could really represent marriage other than the way that Christ loved the church. So if you really compare the two, that's what we should be striving for. So, and
when you love something, what do? You spend time, you put energy, you put effort, like you're really passionate about it. And that's pretty much our story. I had a scripture here. You guys can look this up. I know this is not like a sermon type of situation, but I can't help it. It's just in me.
But the scriptures inspire.
But in Luke 11:17, it's speaking to a different situation, but it's talking about like a house being divided can't stand. And that's something that we try to work on, as well as making sure that we are unified, because there is so much power in unity. And unity doesn't mean that we always agree. It doesn't mean that everything is always peachy creamy. We have our disagreements, and I think that's healthy. Like, it's healthy to be expressive and share your concerns, and, you know, sometimes, as my husband said, I can get angry, but I know not to go to bed, you know, frustrated. Even when I try to, like, I can't even sleep in a different room. I've tried it didn't work out. So it just doesn't work for us. But we just try to make sure that we're unified. And even when we disagree, like, I have to respect his opinions, and he likewise has to respect mine. So it's not about who's right and who's wrong. That's, again, a lot of this stuff happens when we're on our dates. Like, we have these discussions. And
I mean, you bring up a good point, because even I was thinking unification, you know, it's important to be on one accord, because during those times you really understand your partner. And, you know, my wife, it's been a very stressful week for me, and if she didn't understand me, she would, you know, think something was going on or whatever. But me, I like to just stay reserved, keep to myself. But her understanding me, you know, she gave me words of encouragement. She used the scriptures, of course.
Not to beat him, but to encourage
not to beat,
him.
but to encourage me.
There's a big difference.
And it's very uplifting to hear anyone else but your best friend tell you these things, and you have no other choice but to be encouraged. So, you know, that's where the unification comes along, because you get to know and understand your spouse, and it makes those words even more meaningful, because it shows that they care for you.
He hate when I get mushy.
Yeah, I'm not as sentimental as she is.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we have and what we've prepared for. Just a couple more highlights. So as you all know, those of you who are following our GBWT marriage page, we do have a marriage conference on this Friday,
June 9th,
and it's starting at 7 p.m. promptly. And y'all, I know everybody be like, come to my stuff, it's gonna be fire, it's gonna be hot. No, seriously, we are very, very excited. And I've put it out there multiple times on Facebook, and I really have a high expectation. Like, I believe in doing things in perfection doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily have bells and whistles. I just believe in the excellent God that we serve, and I don't believe that he's going to let us down. So I'm very excited about it. My husband is very excited about it. We're expecting couples to come out to be uplifted, families to be uplifted, and we are the light. Like, we are the salt in the earth, and people are looking for authenticity. They're looking for real stuff. It's so much fake and pretentious things happening, and people are just looking like, where is the real relationships? Where are the marriages that are getting through their struggles and making it? You know what I mean? And so that is, and it's not like doom and gloom. It's, if your marriage is great, then just look at it as like an enrichment night for your family. So you don't have to have problems to show up to it. And Lakeisha will be there with some of her books, and she will have words, whatever the Lord lays on her heart to share. We are very excited about that, and we're just excited to work with people who have like minds, because whenever I see a family intact, it just melts my heart. Like, I get overwhelmed, I get emotional, I might even cry on Friday, but y'all just gonna have to excuse me, because I am very passionate about family. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Friday night, 7 o'clock at the Greater Bible Way Temple, 322 Madison Street. If you haven't already seen the flyer or the advertisements, you can check out my page or my wife's page, and you'll get all the information there. But again, it's the Marriage and Family Conference this Friday, June 9th.
Forgot about Saturday.
Yeah, June 9th is the Family and Marriage and Family Praise and Worship Service starting at 7 p.m. But then Saturday, because it's a 2-day event, Saturday starting at 9 a.m. at the Greater Bible Way Temple, we'll have a community prayer followed with an amazing breakfast. I already know, I can taste it already.
Yeah, my mom's cooking.
Her mom's making some hot
y'all.
breakfast. We'll have some continental stuff there as well. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll have a Q&A session about the importance of dating, marriage, relationships, any questions that you may have.
And this is for singles too. We have some singles on the panel as well, because many times a lot of people enter into marriage and they just have no clue what they're doing. And we understand, been there, done that. And so we want to help you. We don't want to be like, hey, we had to figure it out, y'all figure it out. No, we're here to help you, to answer your questions. And this is going to be real, relevant, relatable. So bring your questions. So if you know of singles, tell them that they're welcome, because we want to help them. We want to help them have successful relationships and ultimately a successfully long life marriage. So yeah, that is it. And
Thank you, Lakeisha.
Thank you, Keisha, so much. Tell Fred that we are very appreciative that you guys invited us on, and we are looking forward to having you guys on Friday. So God bless you. We love you, and we hope to see you guys.